Hello, welcome to your weekly Pick Your Crystal here at Soulprint. This is for the week of September 21st through the 27th. So, unless I've got it really, really wrong, um, right around the beginning of this week, you have your, autumn equinox. And again, unless I have it really, really wrong, it's right close to, Libra. So it strikes me, just generally speaking, that you have the balancing or the equalization, if you will, of light and dark, right? And you also have Libra, which is that sign with, the scales and balance. So it feels to me like, just generally speaking, overall, we're moving into a time or period where balance and I want to say sort of moderation and that kind of energy having to do with um, fairness, right? Equal to both parties kind of thing. It's going to play a role in all of our lives. So, just a thought. All right, here we go. So, for September 21st to 27th, we have purple, green, blue, simple as that. Take a moment and see which crystal or crystals are resonating with you or calling out to you. And let's get started. Okay. Two of Cups, Nine of Swords, King of Cups, the Empress. Okay. So the Two of Cups, generally speaking, is about a significant partnership or relationship. It's not always romantic, but it certainly can be. Um, but it brings a sense of happiness. It brings a balance into a relationship. Because it's followed by the Nine of Swords, it really makes me think that you have gone through a difficult period of time. There's anxiety and despair, um, feeling like you can't move forward, and you're not sure how to move forward. Then you have the King of Cups. So along comes the King of Cups, and he is he's caring and he has a healing energy around him. And the energy of the King of Cups is very it's like an emotional hug, an emotional safety net. You've got a situation here where um there's simply a sense of caring and healing. And then you have the Empress. So the Empress is, rebirth, new beginnings, abundance, that kind of thing. So when we put it all together, it's interesting because the very first thing that comes to mind is almost like a difficulty within family. So whether this is within a marriage, whether this is parent to child, um, whatever it is between siblings, it feels as if there has really been some stress or strain over that. As where people not only weren't on the same page, but were having trouble even thinking about getting on the same page. But there is an energy that's here that is indicating that sense of healing, of bringing stability and calmness into a situation. And from that, you have this state of abundance, growth moving forward. This could also apply to any sort of employment situation, any kind of partnership. And partnership, that also applies to, for example, a healer and their client. Okay, so perhaps you have a healing um, talent. This can also apply to that kind of a relationship. And if there was anxiety around that, whether it was yours or a client, again, there is this energy of things settling and calming and stabilizing. And the Empress is letting you know that the situation can move forward and move forward in a way that creates growth and abundance and blessings sort of all around. I like this. It sounds like, there was a really bumpy road that you are or just have recently been walking on, but the cards are wanting you to know that it is going to stabilize. The third, very quickly, interpretation here is that you've been looking for a partnership, you've been wanting a partnership, or you've been really concerned about the one you're in. And the Nine of Swords is reflecting that concern. Will I be alone for the rest of my life? Is this marriage savable? That kind of energy. And again, it feels as if there is an energy coming in that is, mature, that is stable, but that is loving, gracious, and kind. And from there, again, you have the potential for um, moving forward, new beginnings, new growth. All right. And Green Hermit, Five of Swords, Justice, Seven of Pentacles. Okay. So the Hermit talks about taking the time to be still, to be quiet, um, to sort through your thinking, your emotions, your feelings, taking the time to pull back and sit in sort of quiet, meditative reflection. Slow down enough to hear your thoughts, to feel your feelings, and to allow um I want to say like solutions or answers. Allow that to come forward gently. There's no rush, no panic here. This is about taking time for you to be um internal. Now, the Five of Swords. This is about a situation where you have been disappointed, a situation where you felt like there was some sort of mischief going on, some kind of deceit, something that and it's interesting because more than anything, I want to say it actually hurt you. It hurt your feelings almost more than the betrayal or the behavior. It was the disregard, I want to say, for your own feelings, and for whatever that is would do to you and the impact it would have. Justice. Here comes that sense of balance, that sense of writing things. And again, you're looking at sort of that Libra energy, right? Um s- Followed by the Seven of Pentacles, which is, assessing your harvest, basically, right? It is about um letting you know that your work and your patience is going to be rewarded, that you've got some sort of stability or some, just material, financial good news coming your way. So let's put this together. Something has gone on that has really um, been disturbing or distressing to you. Spirit wants you to make sure that you take the time not only to process what happened, but to start the healing process. Because You can't go forward if you're stuck or trapped in the injustices, if you will, of the past. And if it happened 10 minutes ago, it's still the past. Um, it's assuring you that with wisdom, kindness, and grace, you're going to see a rebalancing. You're going to see justice done, if you will. But I want you to be very mindful that divine justice sometimes, but sometimes doesn't look the way we think it should look. Okay. um, it there's a bigger and grander picture there. And, sometimes that works to your benefit, and maybe sometimes the other person's or the other side of it. But in this case, it feels like there is some sort of a balance that's coming together, and that financially you're being reminded that all of your needs are met because that is your intention. You work hard, you focus, whether you've worked or invested or are just expecting some sort of a windfall, but that sort of feeling of a stabilizing, if you will, of your finances is is there. So, again, this could be, are you waiting for approval for something that was originally declined, like some sort of a insurance or approval for, something. Um, but again, with the Seven of Pentacles sitting there, the indicator, it's clear, right? It's like take the time to reflect, start the healing process, trust that balance is going to come to the situation, and trust that your needs are going to be met through not only your hard work, but your efforts, and that includes y- your manifestation abilities. And the Eight of Cups, King of Pentacles, the Hierophant, and the Magician. Okay, so the Eight of Cups most often reflects sort of being disillusioned, feeling emotionally unsatisfied or unrecognized. It is about recognizing that you may or should need to abandon a strategy or a path that you were walking on. And the Eight of Cups is sort of almost like that reflective moment where you kind of make your final decision and say, this isn't working. I need to recalibrate. I need to, step back and move forward with a different mindset or into a different situation. The King of Pentacles is very fortunate sitting in this position because this indicates finding success within that which is material. So financial success, material success, asset success. And it may be that you require or are presented with somebody who can help you remove yourself emotionally from a situation and look at it more like realistically, look at it through the eyes or through the lenses of security, of finances, of stability. Now the Hierophant is, he's like the highest of the high, right? The head of. So perhaps you are reaching out to somebody who is very successful or well established in an area that you are looking at, endeavoring to, to sort of break into. Um, but there's definitely sort of high level help coming your way. Do not discount the fact that in this case, the Hierophant may very well be divine guidance. Because here comes the magician right after that. And the magician is basically letting you know that you have what it takes to create or turn this situation around, but it, it requires sort of letting go of the emotions and looking at things in a more businesslike or logical or strategic way, and knowing that you can go forward and keeping your eyes open, because very, very often the magician is an indicator sort of like serendipity, right? Of those coincidences that can't possibly actually just be a coincidence, of divine intervention, of divine timing, that kind of thing. So as you are saying this goodbye, be mindful of the fact that you are not walking that road alone. There is help and assistance that is moving into place and that is surrounding you, and at your request, don't forget that, at your request, is able to move into position and help you see a different and clearer path going forward. Okay. Thank you so much for being here at Soulprint Picture Crystal. I look forward to seeing you right here next week. Take care now. Bye bye.